Hi, and welcome to the first ever edition of the Cybersec report. In today's episode, we'll be discussing the SolarWinds hack. So, let's see what happened. As The Independent reports, the SolarWinds hack was the largest hack of a Western government in recent memory. Appears to have stemmed from an innocuous-looking pop-up message. The Independent goes on to report that, in March, IT staff at up to 18,000 companies and organizations using SolarWinds software clicked on a link to download the latest version of a product called Orion. SolarWinds makes technology that allows organizations, including US federal agencies and some of the world's biggest companies, to manage their computer systems and networks. And so updates of this kind arrive regularly. Now that we've established this, without further ado, let's establish who was affected. The list of affected customers includes the very highest offices and departments in the USA. As the article mentions, SolarWinds counts all 5 branches of the US military, the Pentagon, the State Department, and the Office of the President of the United States among its 300,000 global customers. This gives us a snapshot into how huge the scale of this attack is, and how important and high level the affected parties are. From a global and political perspective, it doesn't get much higher than the aforementioned US offices and branches. The US Department of Energy report on their official website that they are responding to a cyber incident related to the SolarWinds compromise in coordination with our federal and industry partners. At this point, the investigation has found that the malware has been isolated to business networks only and has not impacted the mission-essential national security functions of the department. As we can clearly see, the attack has affected the US Nuclear Weapons Department, and although they report the malware has been isolated, we can't be sure of what else they'll find as the ongoing investigation continues. I think it's fair to say that if the US nuclear weapon system was compromised, we could be in for far-reaching and potentially terrifying consequences. Some of the largest multinational corporations in the world have been reportedly affected, with the Security Affairs reporting that researchers from multiple cybersecurity firms published a list that contained major companies including Cisco, Deloitte, Intel, MediaTek, and Nvidia. The researchers decoded that the DGA algorithm used by the backdoor to assign a subdomain of the C2 for each of the compromised organizations. They also report other major companies including FireEye, Microsoft, and VMware also revealed to have been impacted by the SolarWinds supply chain attack. In a comprehensive blog post, Microsoft, one of the world's largest tech companies, report how it was affected by the attack from a technical perspective and what it observed. Microsoft, in a blog post, report the discrete malicious codes inserted into the DLL called a backdoor, composed of almost 4,000 lines of code that allowed the threat actor behind the attack to operate unfettered in compromised networks. The fact that the compromised file is digitally signed suggests the attackers were able to access the company's software development or distribution pipeline. Evidence suggests that as early as October 2019, these attackers have been testing their ability to insert code by adding empty classes. Microsoft goes on to link the initial attack vector as falling inside the MITRE attack framework technique, supply chain compromise. This is described by MITRE as when adversaries may manipulate software or dependencies and development tools prior to receipt by a final consumer for the purpose of data or systems compromise. So now that we have some information about the attack, let's try and find out who is behind this attack. Although it's unclear at the moment who specifically is the originator behind the attack, as Tech Republic suggests, there has been talk of the Russian ATP Group 29, also known as Cozy Bear, masterminding the attack. As expected, this attack has had political ramifications, with Tech Republic reporting that even as Secretary of State Mike Pompeo stated in an interview that it was pretty clear that the Russians engaged in the cyber attacks, outgoing President Donald Trump was casting doubt on that conclusion. Trump has pinned the blame on China, perhaps due to his close economic and political ties with the Russians. It seems the incoming President Joe Biden is having none of this, as he attempts to pressure Trump into disclosing more information and providing a competent response to the attack. We will follow up with another video next week as more information is disclosed about the attack. We will also track how companies are responding as well as following the political response or the lack of it. Stay tuned, and thank you for watching.